It was good. I'm Isaac Lee, and I'm back with another review of Cruella. So let's get straight into it. Going into it, I didn't really have too many expectations. I know it's starring Emma Stone. I've seen her in things here and there in other movies, but I never really considered myself an Emma Stone fan until I saw this movie. You know, I saw the trailer, and it did spark a little interest in it. Even though I was never been like a big fan of the 101 Dalmatians or even the Cruella character, but when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, I'll bite per se. But you know, the movie starts off in the 1960s with her being a kid, and they gave her this whole origin about how she's born with the whole black and white hair. It's kind of like split down the middle. and it's really funny how, you know, she believes this one particular lady to be her mother. She has well, she clearly doesn't have black and white hair, but she's a brunette. And as a kid, I kind of gave her a pass on not being able to make the distinction, but as an adult, when she finds out that that wasn't her mother, I was like, okay, how do you not understand just basic genetics, that if you've been having black and white hair this whole time, and then the lady you thought was your mother was a brunette, you couldn't figure that out, that okay, maybe this isn't your mother? Like, the fact that you had the nerve to be shocked. So there's that. I definitely see influences from Devil Wears Prada heavily. It definitely has influences from the Joker. There's a scene in the movie where they're actually playing the song Smile that you also hear in the Joker movie, but even just the way it's shot, the very aesthetic of it is very Joker-esque. They have this whole movie wrapped around her wanting to get back this locket, this little family heirloom. Well, a piece of jewelry that came from, you know, the lady she thought was her mother. That really meant a lot to her, because, you know, she dies early on in the movie. And why she dies, well, so the movie can happen. But when they had this whole story about her trying to get this locket back, the first thing I thought about, that I'm sure no one else is gonna bring up, is the movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, and the fact that a big part of that movie was about Eddie Murphy getting his father's watch back that he lost 40 years ago. I'm like so yeah, so I'm in the theater and I see this whole movie going around this like piece of jewelry. I immediately thought about Life. So like, okay. But again, they give her this whole superhero origin, and of course, if Cruella's known for being a villain, you're gonna have someone who's more evil than her. And then the whole twist ends up being that this evil woman who's known as the Baroness, you know, she's like super rich fashion designer. She ends up being the mother of Cruella. So now you understand where she gets this whole persona from, as far as like being very nasty and bossy and things like that. They even try to give some type of like explanation to how she has the whole black and white hair, how they go back in time. They show the Baroness having all black hair, but then when they show the father, they show him having like really light grayish to like white hair. I'm like, really? That's how you're gonna explain? Like, that is not how genetics works. You don't just get half and half. I'm like, it has to be one or the other. But that's the way they explained it. What else did I want to bring up? I definitely want to bring up that they took a page out of Marvel's playbook, as far as that when it gets to like the mid-credit scene, they put in this little extra scene that shows like the two parents of the 101 Dalmatians being adopted to two other characters in the movie. And at first, I again, because I wasn't a big follower of the 101 Dalmatians, so when you see the dogs being given to two different people and you see the names on them, I had to look it up myself, and I realized, okay, this is the mother and father, and that's how they're going to and of course end up making the 101 Dalmatians. And now I'm thinking, okay, this is going to end up being a whole universe, like, because if you're going to show that scene, then clearly that means that they're going to make a part 2. Part 1 was pretty good. I really liked it. I've been telling a lot of people about it. I really like this movie alone really made me consider myself an Emma Stone fan, yeah, for this one, because I really like what she brought to it. Every time she did her lines, I kept looking at the way she would say it, facial expressions, you know, body language. I guess I'm weird like that, but I was just looking at all these different aspects of what she gave to the performance. Did I have anything else? Oh yeah, the fact that the Baroness can't make the distinction. Oh so she hires Cruella, whose real name is Estella. She hires her, but then when she starts going into her Cruella persona and she's wearing all these designer outfits, it's like the fact that she can't make the distinction when she's working alongside Jasper and the other guy, I can't think of his name, big husky guy. When she's working alongside them and they're gonna pull this first little not like a prank, but this first little like a little event to kind of like upstage the Baroness with a whole new outfit, their main not threat, but their main their main worry, I should say. Their main worry is that, okay, she's gonna see you, she's gonna know who you are. And she kind of accepted that, be like, okay, it is what it is. She's gonna see me and then she's gonna recognize. She never recognized her until like the far end of the movie. And it wasn't even her that she recognized, but it was one of the people that was helping her pull off all these things. She recognizes them, but you can't make the distinction between your arch nemesis, your newly formed nemesis, and the person you just hired. You can't make the distinction between these two. I'm like that was the crazy part about it. And then here's another thing. I've never seen like revenge fashion shows, because she wants to get at the Baroness, but she knows what gets under her skin more is just being upstaged. But at the same time, she wants to get this locket back. So all throughout the movie, it's like, I want to get this locket back, but let me stage these 3 revenge fashion shows where I just keep showing up in different outfits. Like, that's all it is. Like, they had one particular event where the Baroness was having some type of event. Next thing you know, there's all this commotion outside, and not only is Cruella putting on a new outfit, but she has a whole runway with other models. She has a performer. They got lights and everything. I'm like, so how did you put all this stuff together and no one noticed anything? You just had this ready on the spot? I'm like, let me get under the skin and keep showing up with new outfits, and then I'll get back to the locket. Okay, but I'm going on and on, but overall I liked it. But at the end of the day, those are just my thoughts. What are yours? And if you like what I had to offer, hit that like and subscribe at the bottom. I'm Isaac Lee. This is The Rundown.